Hello and welcome to Scrap Brat. I'm Cindy, and today we are going to talk about this journal amongst other ones. If you caught the video the other day where we were fixing the messed up paper, I said that it would show up again. Well, this is what I came up with. So it's just a little journal. It's got a little pocket there. And it's got a couple of little pages in it, and this is how our paper turned. There we have it, a couple of pieces of ephemera in this pocket. So the thing with this is it actually opens up completely, and it has pockets on the back. And in the process of trying to figure out how to make this one, I came up with something else. So we're not going to do a tutorial on this one today. We're actually going to do it on another one. It's similar, but just different. So this is the one that we're going to be doing today. And I did it in black and white. And it just opens up. And there's the back. There's pockets. The really cool thing about this one is when you untie it, it folds out. So, I don't know. I just think it's fun. I like it. I think it's a lot of fun. So that is what we're going to be doing today. So for this, you can use 6x6 one-sided paper, and we used on this one 18 pieces of single-sided 6x6 paper, or you can also use 4.5 sheets of 12x12. So, and that also gives you the all of the ephemera except for these flowers. It gives all of the tickets and the tags and all of the little bits that we have tucked in. When you're distressing and you're trying to get in all of these little creases to get the white off the sides, flip it over and really like work it in from the back, and you don't risk the chance of getting it on the front of your ephemera. So that's just a little tip that I've learned over the years. So we're going to glue this guy in real quick. And then we're going to confused. I'm going to show you how not to be confused on this one when you're making it. So that way you don't get lost on how to fold it back up. So we're going to start off with a piece of poster board that is 26 by 9. Okay, our finished journal is going to end up about 8 1/4 by 5 3/4 for the finished size. But first, what we need to do is we need to fold it on the 26-inch poster, not poster board, up against your scoreboard. We're going to need that back out, but I just want to get this creased really well. You can put your edges up against there when your paper's just a bit too big to go in your scoreboard, or you're just trying to fold the book page in half and you're just kind of wanting all these lined up, because it's kind of important that we keep them lined up. Okay, so we're going to get this back out, and we are going to open it up because we don't want to score both of them. We only want to score this side. Okay, and this side we are going to score at 4 1/4 all the way down, and then we're going to score at 8 1/2 all the way down. We're going to take this corner and we're going to flip this guy straight over. Okay, and now we're going to score at 4, and 8.5. Okay. While you have it on the back side, I want you to take and put a little C right there, because that is your cover. That's your main cover. Okay, so we're going to take it back to the original side that we have the 4 1/4, 4 1/4, and 8.5. We're going to go ahead and we're going to fold it back up. Okay, so we have our 4 1/4 and our 8.5, and we're going to turn it clockwise, one turn, and we're going to score at 3 3/4. And it's going to be too big for your scoreboard if you're using your scoreboard. It's okay, because we're going to flip her over. Okay, now we're going to take the folded edge and we're going to flip it straight up to the top. And we're going to go back to the 3 3/4. And we're just going to come down as far as we can go with it. Okay. Now, I do believe we are done with the scoreboard. So let's put him away. Okay. Now we're going to come in. This is our cover. None of it matters right now. All we're going to do is we're just going to, let's see, we're going to take and we're going to fold along all of these edges here. We're going to take these bits out, okay? And I'm sure you've seen this done before. You've probably done it. But I am just going to fold this one. Make sure we line it up with the bottom. Make sure everything's nice and straight. Nothing's sticking out. It doesn't really matter that much which way we're going right now. So we're just kind of trying to make sure that our edges are lined up. That's all we're doing. Make sure we get a good fold. That one's already good. So we're going to do this one next. Well, that's not where it needs to go. Why are we not folding where we need to go? Go to your home. There we go. Make sure all our edges are lined up. I'm sorry for the flipping and flapping, guys, but we're just trying to get good, smooth edges right now. And then this one should fold. Yeah, well, okay. We're going to fold them backwards, though, for right now. Why are you not wanting to fold where you go? Get your stuff out of our way. This part you really need to take your time with. You want to make sure all of these are folded correctly. Okay. Now, before we cut this bit off, we are going to fold it the way it needs to be. So we're going to have a mountain. We're going to have a valley. We're going to have a mountain. And then we're going to have a valley and another valley. Okay? And it's going to fold up just like this. I'm not understanding why in the world this is trying to not let this go in there. That's the cover. Let's see what we did, because if I need to change something, I want y'all to know that we will keep it in. Okay. So this was our first score at 4 1/4. 4 1/4. And our second one was at 8 1/2. Ish. Yeah. It's not quite 8 1/2. I think we need to scooch him over just a hair. Not quite that much. It's a little better. Let's put him back in the scoreboard so we get a better score on him. This is a me problem. This is not a problem with my measurements. It's just me. I mean, not to say that my measurements are right, but they worked before. So we're going to give this a better score down here. Okay. See if that helps out a little bit. Hopefully so. Okay, we may end up using some paper tape on this because I have folded the dickens out of it. It's going to be angry. It's going to be so angry. Okay. Okay. So we're going to have our mountain, our valley, our mountain, valley, valley. Okay, and this should, it's still not wanting to do it. I'm wondering if this one was like 26 1/8 or something. Oh, that's what happens. Oh. Okay, so we scored this one at 4 and this one at 1/2, 8 1/2, which is a little bit off again. We're going to use paper tape to reinforce this, but before we do that, we're going to get these creases right. Don't be like me. And if you are like me, don't give up. Because that is exactly how I ended up making that other journal. Because I was trying to make the messed up paper one, and I ended up coming up with that one. So, or this one. But that's exactly how that happened. Was I just kept going. I was a little bit upset, but you know, what are you going to do when you make your prototype and then you go to make your real one and the paper's a different size? Well, you just keep moving. Just keep moving. This one may be a little bit snug when we go to shut it. That's going to be okay. It's going to be all right, guys. It's going to be all right. What we need to do right now is we need to go ahead and cut only up to here, to this little line, to our score line. We need to cut just a sliver off of each of these because these are going to be pockets. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut just a little sliver. They don't have a big fat head in the way. Just a little sliver, just enough to open up those pockets. Oops. A little bit more than that, guys. Probably not quite as much as I'm cutting off now, but hey. We're just going to keep going. Try not to stick my head in the way, but do it to where y'all can see what I'm doing. Okay, and there's our line right there. So we just need to cut up to it. There we go. And we should have one more. No. Come on now, shaky, shaky. Okay. And this is the way that it goes. So now this is where you can kind of get all crazy with however you want to fold the pockets. Now remember, this is our cover. I don't want a pocket on my cover. Not that there's anything wrong with it, I just don't want one. So I'm going to fold this pocket in towards the inside. So this one's going to be a pocket there. And then I'm going to do a pocket inside here. Because this is our other cover, how it folds over itself. Again, let me show you how it folds over. You can see, so I don't want a pocket on either one of these. So I don't want the pocket here. I want the pocket on the inside. So I do every other one is how I'm doing it. And then we're gonna flip it over. And we're just trying to line these pockets up to where they're in between these creases. Now we might run into a problem where I did not do my fold because I wasn't sticking my big fat head right over the top of it like I normally would. Y'all probably will not have that problem. So hopefully not anyways. But if you do, just keep going like I did. Okay. There. So we're going to put that away for now. Okay. So this is our cover. So we want him back over here to our right, face down. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do so I know where my cover is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cover him first. Okay. So I have already cut papers, and I do want to show you that from the first one, from the pages that I said, from either the 18 6x6, this is the scrap that I have left over. I use every single bit of the paper. I had some other little tiny pieces like this, but I threw them away. So but there's pretty much no scrap with this, which is always nice. So I'm not trying to build my scrap pile. No sirree, Bob. And I'm not going to ink, and I am not going to round corners. If you would like, please do so. This first one that we're going to cut, we're going to take a 6x6 piece of paper. And what I did to get these is I actually used 12x12. I cut them into 6x6. Let's see here if I can kind of show you. Obviously, this is not this piece of paper, but I cut them into a 12 by 12, I cut it into fourths, which is 6 by 6, and then I used it as I would a 6 by 6 piece of paper. If you're going to use a 12 by 12, make sure that it has something on interesting all over the page, maybe not a full page of something, but like a, you know, something like this in the corner and then flowers down here, something to that effect. But I took one 6 by 6, and we're just going to pretend like this is 6 by 6, but y'all know that I made this out of 12 by 12. Okay, so I took one 6 by 6 and I cut this guy at 3 3/4 by 6, and we're just going to glue him on here. So we know where our cover is. There's no question about it. Now with the prototype, I did use a little bit thicker paper. So if you want to use the thinner paper, there's nothing wrong with that. But I do want to say that if you use this thinner paper like this, it's not probably going to hold up for tags. So you would want to take maybe some scrap and take it and back the ephemera that you make out of the scrap off of your 6 by 6. Hopefully all that makes sense. Okay, so now here's our cover. So we've got that one done. So we're going to come over here to this side. And this one, I'm going to call our second cover. And we're going to cut him at 4 by 6. We're going to take a 6-inch piece of paper and we're going to cut 4 across. And we're going to save our scrap. And we're just going to glue him down. You want to try and not get too crazy about trying to make sure it's even. Y'all are going to want to make sure you take your time, make sure everything's even. Now this second one, we're going to do it 3 7/8 by 6. So this is 3 7/8 by 6. We're just going to glue him down in here. Trying to kind of line up the top a little bit. I'm not too concerned about it though. I just want to get it done for y'all. And we're going to take our bottom, and if you wanted to round the corners, obviously do so. And this is 3 7/8 by 3 1/2. It's 3 7/8 wide, just like this, and it's 3 1/2 tall because our pockets are actually 3 3/4. So we're going just a little bit shy of what our pages are. So that way we get a little bit of a border. Now you could also use black poster board. If you wanted to, you could probably use a color poster board. That could turn out kind of cute. And then our next one is 4 1/4 by 6. And then our next one here has a pocket, and this one is 4 1/4. So we have a 4 1/4 by 6. Got a piece of 6 by 6 paper down to 4 1/4. Kind of trying to keep our borders straight. And then our pocket is 4 1/4 by 3 1/2. And what I might do is go ahead and pause the video and get the rest of these glued down. after I get this side done, and then I will come back. So if you actually, no, I won't. You can fast forward if it's taking too long, but I want to make sure that I double tell you, because obviously it's the same size on the other side. But we're just going to make sure we tell all the measurements. Now this one here, our last full page is 4 1/4 by 6. So if y'all want to fast forward, you can, but this way everybody gets the measurements of every page, just in case. Okay. And then our next one is 3 3/4 by 6. I just hope the video is not too long. It'll take forever to upload. Okay. All right. Okay. And then we're going to do, this one is 3 3/4, sorry, by 3 1/2. So we're going to get him glued down. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and glue these pockets down so they're not flipping and flopping out here. Okay. So we're going to take our whole journal and we're going to flip it over. Now we know this is our cover. Okay. So we are going to go from here and we are going to glue our pages on. You're going to cut a 6-inch piece of paper down to 4 1/4 for the one right next to your cover. Okay. Now you could do this with book page. So this is 4 1/4 by 3 1/2 for our cover for our pocket. And this next one is 4 1/4 by 6. We're saving all our scrap. And then our next one is 4 1/4. I think I put that on upside down. No, I didn't. Okay. Well, if you've been here for any length of time, you know I just clamber on through, so who knows. But I do want to say thank you for stopping in and thank you for watching. And if you like what you see, give me a subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and stick around and you can come back for more mistakes. This is our pocket and it is 4 1/4 by 3 1/2. But yeah, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It just, if you hit the little bell, it'll let you know when I upload a new video. And so there's that. Okay, and this is a full sheet, and this one is 3 7/8. I'll scoot them over a little bit. Scoochy scooch. Okay. And then our last one is going to be 4 inches even by 6. Of course, you can use any paper. You don't have to use what I use. You don't have to use book page. You can use any paper that you have that coordinates well, or that if you want it to be a hodgepodge and not match it up, just use what the scrap that you actually have on your table. That would be cute too. Be super cute. And this last pocket is 4 by 3 1/2, because our pockets are 3 3/4 high. So we're just leaving that little bit for the border. Okay. So here we have it. This is our journal. So we're going to go mountain. We're back with our cover to the right, upside down. We're going to go mountain, valley, mountain, valley, valley. And then we're going to hope for the best. Hope for the best. Oh, my goodness, it folds. It folds. I just want to show you a couple of ideas that you can do with these scraps. These were the scraps that we have left over from cutting all of our 6x6 papers. Okay. And I kind of stacked them and separated them. And so you take these little pieces that were off of making the tags, like this one. It's off of here. After you cut it down to the width, you ended up with a strip somewhere in here. Probably have this one. There's our 6x6. And you cut it to the width. So you have this scrap. And then you cut it to the length. And you have this scrap. Well, you can take these little scraps like this and make tickets. I would make this one into maybe a secondary pocket. Maybe I don't want to cover that up, or maybe just a pocket there. You have to find one that's the same width, which this one is. A lot of them are 4 1/4, so you may get lucky. Make them into tags, into tickets, into what have you. And then these, let's open it up. These you can make into like little belly bands or tall ticket or tall tag. But these I would definitely back onto some scrap white cardstock, which I will probably do. And but yeah, so I do want to show you how to make a closure and how to do the closure on this one. And this one we kept simple, but I will explain something on the other one at the end of the video in case you wanted to have a closure like that. Okay. And then we're going to come over to this one, because this is our other cover. This is our second cover. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to find our center. We're going to mark it. And we'll see if I get it too far in or not. And we're going to take, okay, good. We're going to take our hole punch. And I'm going to watch my fingers so I don't get my fingers. And just made 2 little holes. Now you can put an eyelet in. I'm not going to, because if you've watched me before, I struggle with the crocodile. See what I'm doing, because I'm just taking 1 loop and just tying it. That way all we got to do is this, because you know I cut my seam tape too short. I could keep fiddle farting around with it, but y'all don't want to see all that. So I just took it, and I have 1 short one, and instead of tying a bow, I'm going to do 1 loop, and I'm going to pass this one up and under that loop and pull it through and pull that loop up. That way we just have this little guy to pull out. So yeah. Okay, so we ended up making this. It's not too bad, I guess, huh? Not too bad. Not too bad. And I'm sure there's probably other ways we could tie it, and it would turn out much better if I would have thought about what I was doing before I cut my seam binding, but I didn't. Okay, now I want to talk to you about the closure on the other one, because you would want to kind of put that closure on as you're making the journal, and you will need to kind of be methodical about it. Let me grab it real quick. So what I did for this one is I put our cover on, I poked a hole, I glued my ribbon in, and then I put my brad through, And then on this side, I put this piece on. This piece right here. I put this one down here. It's a 3 3/4 piece, I think. I put it on, okay? And then I was done with that for then. And then on this side, I put the second cover on. I put, or actually, I'm sorry, I glued my ribbon on. I put my second cover on. I poked a hole. I put my brad through, and then I came over and I glued this one on. I think this one's 4 inches. This is the 4-inch side. So that is how you do those, so they're hidden, and then you can glue the pocket shut. Even if you forgot to wait to put this paper on and you did it, you could probably still maneuver it around so it would be underneath the pocket, and yeah, it'd be fine. It'd be fine. It'd be all right. So no mistakes, only happy accidents, right? Isn't that what Bob Ross always used to say? Yes, yes, yes. Love me some Bob Ross. Okay, so I'm going to keep fiddle farting around with this guy, and I will probably take some of this with some white scrap and make some ephemera. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with this. Do you want to kind of flip through here and see where we could put like a little belly band here? I mean, y'all could go hog wild with this. You know, you could put in a secondary pocket here. You can put a secondary pocket over here, depending on the width of the page. And you could always cut these down if need be. But yeah, you could just go crazy, folks. Go crazy. Yeah. So just wanted to say thank you very much and let you know that each and every one of y'all are appreciated, and go out and spread some joy today. And yeah, just love one another. And much love, guys. Thanks. Good night.